All right, welcome one and all to the Off the Rails Sports Podcast. I am your host, John. And if you could, hit that like and subscribe button, it means a lot. We're going to go over the sports highlights for Saturday, August 9th. There's actually some crazy stuff, actually, some historic events that actually happened in baseball. Wow, I know. We live in an era when you watch a game, they have these crazy statistics like, wow, this is the second time in the last 30 years that a pitcher faced six batters but didn't allow an earned run. And Jesus, some of that stuff is just like, wow, we have way too much time on our hand. We're getting paid way too much by MLB or ESPN. Let's start with the National Football League. We are rolling on the first week of preseason. And the biggest thing I saw, there was quite a bit, but the biggest thing was Pittsburgh beat Jacksonville 31-25. Nobody really cares about the score. Pittsburgh didn't play any of their starters, but Travis Hunter, the second pick in the NFL draft that Cleveland gave up. Obviously, he saw some action. They're talking about him being a two-way player, kind of like NFL's version of Shohei Ohtani. And he had played 10 snaps at wide receiver and 8 at cornerback. I don't know how much he's going to be able to play. It is interesting to me, and nobody is really talking about this, is you make a lot more money in the league as a wide receiver than you do as a cornerback. I do not think they're going to monetize. Let's say let's say that the average wide receiver makes 35 million. The average cornerback makes 30 million. Okay, they're not going to pay him 65 million. Yeah, they may go a little above, but really, with the risk of injury, I don't really see that as being a viable alternative, especially when you got to play for on the rookie contract for your first 3 years in the league. All right, so they're going to give you 12, 14 million dollars. That's great. You're taking a lot more exposure for injury risk if you're playing on both sides of the ball. Personally, I think I'd be shooting for one. Whichever one you want. You want to be a cornerback, fine. You want to be a wide receiver. This whole Dion thing, football was not as specialized as it is now. And man, you better be really good at what you do. You don't want to be half-assed at two positions. It's better to be excellent at one. Buccaneers played the Titans. That was our debut for Cam Ward. He actually led them on a touchdown drive. First drive was 3-and-out for the Titans. Second, 5 completions, 67 yards. Tony Pollard, touchdown run at the end. Played very well. I just think the cupboard is really empty there in Tennessee. I don't know what you're playing with, and I do worry about them having a new coach. Ugh. I wish they had Mike Vrabel. I think New England scooped up a really, really talented coach. Still don't understand why they fired him there. But Rams 31, Cowboys 21. Cowboys have a training camp out in Oxnard. This is obviously very convenient. No starters played for the Rams. We didn't really get too many updates on Matthew Stafford. He does have a back injury still. I do think he'll play in the first week. He is a warrior. That guy, one of the reasons the team coalesces around him so much is because they see what he plays through. And a back injury is kind of a fickle thing, especially when you get into your 30s. But if there's a guy I'm going to bet on, it's definitely going to be Matthew Stafford. Let's get to the Vikings. J.J. Stafford, or J.J. McCarthy Stafford. Yeah, Matthew Stafford has a brother. His name is J.J. Vikings beat the Texans 20-10. J.J. McCarthy, we finally got to see him after being out his rookie year with an injury. First drive, he was out, didn't score. Sam Howell was actually very, very good. The former Washington Commander. He led them on a 94-yard touchdown drive, which was pretty damn impressive in the second series. We'll see what ends up happening. We'll see if he sticks on the roster. Really, I don't know. I wonder if this year we have seen a lot of rosters only carry 2 quarterbacks, not the traditional 3. Traditionally, what it is, you know it if you're listening to this podcast, you know Rube. that you got your starter, you have a very competent backup, and then you keep a rookie, because of the salary. You're hoping that things are going to work out. That's where you keep the fifth, sixth, seventh round guy, right? Because his salary is $500,000, $750,000. Brock Purdy. And every so often you get the Tom Brady, the Brock Purdy who ascends. Not very likely, but it is what it is. Giants 34, Bills 25. Russell Wilson actually led them on a field goal drive, looked pretty good. Jackson Dart really impressed me. He looked really, really comfortable in the pocket. I was surprised. Abdul Carter had a couple pressures. That guy's going to be a beast. Excellent pick by the Giants. I do wonder how many games they're really going to win this year. It does look like the cupboard is bare there. On the Bills side, we didn't see Cook. Joey Bosa, he played 10 snaps. Kind of surprised me. I think he wants to get a little of that rust off coming off an injury. That team could be pretty damn good. They just have to figure out a way to get past Kansas City. We all know that. Let's get to Major League Baseball. The immortal, the great, and being a Red Sox, I want to vomit in my mouth when I say that. Mariano Rivera tore his Achilles in an old timers game. I remember back towards the end of his career, he tore it in Kansas City, I think, shagging fly balls. It's a shame. In an old timers game. I mean, they used to say, and this is what led to basically the dissolution of the NFL All-Star game, even though they have it in name only, they really don't, I can't remember, I want to say it was a San Francisco tight end, and in the game, he blew out a knee. And they said, after that, you don't want to spend your precious offseason rehabbing from an injury in an all-star game. Well, Mariano, the knife's coming out. Good luck. You're going to spend, you're not working, you're not off season, you just got your beautiful retirement in Manhattan. But boy, at that age, you really want to recover from an Achilles tear? Jen Pawoi, first woman to umpire a Major League regular season game. She umpired the Atlanta Marlins game. And, from all reports, she seemed to hold herself in high esteem, did very, very well. We could be a little more forthright here. This isn't some bullshit podcast in terms of really, and the first couple, nobody is going to say anything negative. I don't know if she was good or bad or whatever, but believe me, there's a golden dome over her, and they're going to have to walk very carefully if they're going to criticize her. Also, in Major League Baseball, Pete Alonso, nice re-sign so far by the New York Mets, equaled Darryl Strawberry's New York Mets record of 252 home runs. Kudos to Pete Alonso, been a very good player. He has worn the uniform well. I think he has done a real nice job representing the Mets organization. All right, let's get over here to what's going on Saturday on the world. We're taping this Saturday night. There's 2 games still out. Padres right now in the bottom of the 8th are beating the Red Sox 4-3. And the Dodgers are going to coast to a victory against the Blue Jays 9-0. Let's get to the games that are final. Mariners beat the Rays 6-1. Naylor, yeah, had a good game, I guess. Oh, sorry, that's in the bottom of the top of the 9th. Excuse me, that game isn't finished. Braves beat the Marlins in Jen Pawow's debut 7-1. Nothing to really see there. Yankees got a much-needed win. They beat the Astros 5-4. Bednar got the win. The Yankees have had a really, really rough 3-week stretch. Maybe they're going to start pulling out of it. Being a Red Sox fan, I'm not really hoping for it, but I think baseball is better when the Yankees are playing well. The Nationals beat the Giants 4-2. Angels came back from that very tough loss on Friday. They beat the Tigers 7-4. Colucci got the win. They played really well. I mean, obviously it's not that high of a mountain to get it when you face Charlie Morton. Yeah. Athletics beat the Orioles 11-3. Perkins gets your win. Guardians beat the White Sox 3-1. Carrillo gets the win. To be perfectly frank, I see all these box scores and stuff, and man, some of these guys, it's like, I haven't even heard of this guy, and he's got a 3-2 record with a 4.1 ERA. That'd be Carrillo. Royals beat the Twins 2-0. Cameron gets your win for KC, 6-5 with a 2.5 ERA. He's actually had a very, very good year. He's had some bad luck, but boy, he's putting out some numbers. Brewers beat the Mets 7-4. Koenig got the win. He's 4-1 with a 3.45 ERA. Braves in the second game came back, beat the Marlins 8-6. Alcantara took the loss. Look at the line here on Alcantara. He is 6-11 with a 6.55 ERA. I don't know what the metrics are on him, but you know, if you remember back in the day, remember Matt Harvey, how great he was for those couple seasons in New York, and then he blew out his arm and he was never the same. I really hope that's not what happens to Alcantara because I really like that kid. That kid is really something else. The Cubs beat the Cardinals 9-1. Ray get the win, 9-5. Cardinals pitching staff's been very, very good. The Phillies beat the Rangers 3-2. DeGrom took your loss. He's 10-5 with a 2.86 ERA. Luzardo gets the win for the Phillies, 11-5. Not bad, not bad. And in the final game here, the Diamondbacks beat the Rockies because hey, you almost need to get faced with relegation if you lose to the stupid Rockies, 6-5. Hoffman gets your win. He's 1-0, 2.4 ERA. All right, if you could, I'd really